out and you do it faithfully every day, Dominica or EMS, so the EMS group. So thank you, EMS. So yeah, it started recording. So yesterday we made two mistakes in calculation, not in our formula, but in calculation. One is right here. When we calculated the maturity amount, we took A is equal to 10,000 into 1.08. But when we rewrote A here, we rewrote only 10,000. That was a mistake in calculation we did. So we should be doing into. All right. Yeah. We should be doing into 1.08. That is, this entire answer will be multiplied by 1.08. And can someone tell me what will be the final answer? Be equal to rupees 79,218, is it? If I remember correctly. Can someone calculate and tell me?
Yes, sir. 79,218.
Yes, 73,359 into 1.08 and 79,218 or 228. All right, so this was one. I am getting 228. Can you confirm? 79,228 is what I'm getting when I calculate. Can you confirm? 228, yeah. Can others do it and confirm? So this was a mistake in calculation in the first problem we did yesterday. We forgot to we wrote every variable correctly. All the variables were marked correctly, but unfortunately, when we rewrote it, we made a mistake. The same mistake was repeated again. Same mistake, but this time something better. All right. Thing is, in the singing fund, when we were planning to buy a new cell phone, we decided to save it up, right? In the singing fund, remember, notice this, we multiplied that 1.05 here. But when we rewrote A is equal to, we forgot to divide it by 1.05. So this 1.05, we forgot to factor it in when we rearrange the equation. So we should be doing this divided by 1.05, which is equal to, what will be the final value?
25,853.
25? 25853.3. So in fact, notice this. This is in fact a little bit better, right? So instead of saving up 30,000 for 5 months, we get to save up 25,853 for 5 months, and that is nearly 4,200 rupees, 4,150 rupees is less we have to invest to get the same amount that we need to buy the phone. So anyway, the conclusions we drew are right, but in numbers, I made some mistake. All right. So thank you for pointing it out. And in class, when there is such a mistake, please feel free to raise your hand or point it out in the chat box. I would love it. I think yesterday someone mentioned that in the comment, right? Then I asked you, did I mean? I missed it, but then I tried to clarify, but there was no response, so I left it as it is. I'm sorry. I hope now on you guys will be more confident to point out if I'm making a mistake. Okay. Now, this was yesterday's mistakes, the two mistakes. Yesterday we left with one problem. I told you, try this problem out and then we'll start today's session with that. Okay. All right, just for the sake of future, we'll mention this now. Coming here, so far we talked about simple interest, compound interest, finding the missing variable given other variables, like suppose principal is not given, but term and the number of times it's compounded annually, or the rate of interest and the maturity amount. If any of the other terms are given, if one is missing, we knew how to manipulate the formula and find those variables. And going forward, recurring deposit. We talked about recurring deposit and sinking funds in yesterday's class, where we save by depositing slowly every month, and every month's deposit gathers its own interest. And we saw how to calculate the profit by recurring deposit and sinking funds. And in sinking funds, our aim was, we are targeting this much of amount. To raise this much of amount in this limited time, what do we do? How much should we invest regularly? Now, I stopped there giving you this question. There was a small correction in the question as well. I said, what should be the monthly investment? What I actually meant is annual investment. By mistake, I mentioned it as monthly investment. I meant annual investment. So the farmer just bought a tractor which has life of 10 years. At the end of 10 years, a replacement tractor will cost 10 lakhs. Now, our question is, what should be the annual investment if the bank offers 10% interest? So suppose monthly investment is A rupees. Rupees A. Then our maturity amount will be, we will get 10 lakhs in 10 years. The first year you invested $A into 1 plus 10 by 100. That is 0.1. And this amount stays for 10 years. Plus A into 1 plus 10 by 100 is 0.1 into, to the power 9 plus etc. plus A into 1.1 to the 1.1. Yeah. Now this is a GP with first term is equal to A into 1.1. Rate is equal to, rate at which it is changing is 1.1. Ratio, sorry, the ratio is 1.1. And your number of terms you're considering is 10. Therefore, we have 10 lakh is equal to, can you calculate and post the answer in the chat box? If you have already done, well and good. But yesterday I made a mistake. I said monthly investment, but what I actually meant is annual investment. So 10 lakh is equal to A into 1.1, that is your initial first term, into R to the power N. 1.1 to the power N is 10. Sorry, 1.1 to the power 10 minus 1 divided by 1.1 minus 1. Can you calculate? Equal to, yes, someone has come up with the answer, 57,042.78. Oops, yeah. 78. So this is the amount the farmer should invest every year for him to buy a tractor which costs 10 lakhs after 10 years. So it's a smart thing, right? You save a smaller amount over months so that 10 years later, it's not a huge burden that you have to take for 10 lakh straight out. No, you can just save up smaller so that after a long time, when it's needed, you can just use the amount straight out. All right. So if you guys understood this question, this is just the same question we did last time. Can you give me some kind of reaction? Is it fine if we take 4 to 5 digits after decimal? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. More precision, the better. But 2 is, you can restrict it to 2 if you want, because more precision, the better. But again, if it's paise, it's just going to, we are just going to talk about point 0, point 2 decimal places. So up to you. You can take more decimal places. Yeah. Sir, I'm getting 66947.84. Then we should check. Yeah, can others also check quickly? It is A into, oh wait, I wrote it wrong. Wait, what am I doing? Okay, so this A is equal to implies A is equal to, we have our 10 lakh. Now, whatever is in denominator goes to numerator into 0.1. This 0.1 divided by 1.1 to the power 10 minus 1. And then this 1.1 comes to the denominator. All right. So can others also check what you're getting? Oh, yes, Isha reminded me in the morning. Okay, I'll check about it tomorrow morning. I am sorry. Uh, can someone verify the answer? Can you just check if the answer we got is right? Yes, I agree. But yeah, I'll confirm. I'll tell them this is a need, but again, it is I understand, but I'll tell them this is the need. Let's see how they respond. Most probably they'll allow, hopefully. We'll keep you posted through the WhatsApp group anyway. All right. So I am getting the answer as 57,175.53. Is others getting the same number? Can you check? Syllabus is up to yesterday's. You can study up to yesterday's topic. That'll be the syllabus for midsem. Yeah. No, wait. Why are we all getting different answers? Can you check? Can everyone just confirm once what is the answer you got? Can everyone just verify what answer you got? It won't be MCQ, it will be descriptive. I think that was made clear in the made clear initially itself. It will be simpler questions, just compound interest, this one, and then the Dr. Mishra's portion. So I am getting multiple answers: 57,041, 57,401. What is the answer? Can more people try and tell me what is the answer you get? Those who already did, can you verify your answer? Okay. There is 66,947 as well. I wonder why. What about others? Quite interesting how everyone is getting a very different answer. But the answer is around, maybe because of the precision, 2 or 3 mark difference may be the 2 or 3 sorry. Okay. So can you check if you put the right formula? It should be ideally around 57041 something. But this huge difference won't be there. Thing is, particular number of digit to consider after decimal. This huge difference won't be there. There will be a slight difference of 0.0 something, but not in the scale of 100 rupees. So it should be around 57041. Just verify your answer. For 5, maybe if you took a lower approximation, maybe it may go to 45, 57045. So just verify once. All right. Okay. Now, going forward. So if the interest business was that easy, it would have been nice. But I usually, so since Paytm allows this, Paytm allows us to withdraw our fixed deposit at any time with zero cost. I usually deposit with Paytm Payments Bank. It's easy as well because I don't have to go to bank. I can just put it through my mobile. Now, here, if you notice, interest is not fixed. After a time, after the first slab, interest raises from 2.75 to 3%, and it keeps raising over the time. In this case, how do we calculate the maturity amount? That's our next topic, and in fact, it's called, we'll title it change of rate of interest. If the interest rate change during the period of investment, say it was R1 percentage up to year Y and R2 percentage after that, the compounding formula should change to H is equal to X into 1 plus R1 to the power y into 1 plus R2 to the power whatever is the remaining number of years. Make a note of this formula. We are going to use this in the next problem. So we'll go ahead to the next question. If rupees 60,000 was invested for 7 years in a bank which gives 5.25% interest for the first 3 years and 6% thereafter, what would be the size of the total investment at the end of 5 years? We'll use the same formula. Here, your initial amount X is equal to 60,000. And term N is equal to 7. Also, R1 initial rate of interest is 5.25 percentage, that is 0.0525. Further, R2 is equal to 6%, that is 0.06 is the rate of interest. Okay, sorry, I quoted it wrong. Just a second. Change this to it's end of 7 years is what I meant. End of okay. 7 years. Okay. Now our N is 7. R1 is 0.0525 for 3 years. And R2 is 0.06 for rest 4 years. That is 7 minus 3. Now, how do we do this? Therefore, maturity amount will be equal to X into 1 plus R1 to the power Y. Oh, here Y is equal to 4, Y is equal to 3 years. And into 1 plus R2 to the power N minus Y is equal to X is 60,000 into 1 plus R1 is 1 plus 0.0525 into 1 plus R2 is 1 plus 0.06. 1 plus 0, sorry, I missed. 1 plus 0.025 to the power Y, Y is 3. 1 plus 0.06 to the power N minus Y, that is 7 minus 3, that is 4. Can you tell me what will be the maturity amount? Can you calculate and tell me what will be the maturity amount? Put it in the chat box. $83,004. Put two decimal places for calculation, then yeah, what would be 88,000, right? No, 83,804. How come? T is equal to 3. Can you calculate? Okay. Can someone calculate and confirm? Because I'm getting the answer as 88. Someone calculate the answer and confirm. Yes, 88,316. So yes, that's true. So the answer is around 88,316. So you invest 60,000 with variable interest, then our maturity amount also changes accordingly. The formula which you have to apply also changes accordingly. All right. So that's one thing to note. And can you give me some reactions if you understood, or some, or if you can give, if you did not understand, please give the surprised emoji. I can try to explain it separately. All right. So I don't see any responses. So let me go with this. Reverse compounding. That is, after a time, we reduce the net worth of an object which was bought at a big price. After a time, we consider that every year, this much amount of price of this object is going to go down. For example, if you bought a phone, in 1 year, say your phone, people were ready to buy it for 10,000 rupees. Next year, it will be much less because accordingly, like after 1 year, 2 year older now, right? So the amount that you will receive when you are selling it will be less. And it goes on like that. So what happens is it's the same compounding formula, but with negative interest. Okay. Let's try this question. I'm going to give you a 3-minute head start. Please try, and then I'll start. An item is bought for rupees 1 lakh and is to be depreciated at fixed rate of 40% per annum. What will be the value at the end of 4 years? It is given that price is equal to 1 lakh. Rate is equal to 40% or 0.4 per annum. then number of years is equal to 4. Now, the rate is about depreciation. Therefore, it should be a negative rate. Now, things just go as it is. So, after 4 years, what happens? After 4 years, depreciated price is equal to initial 1 lakh is going to be into 1. We usually use plus, right? Okay, we'll use plus minus 0.4 to the power, because your rate is minus 0.4 to the power, how many years? 4, plus again 1 lakh into 1 plus minus 0.4 to the power cube and plus dot 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 plus 1 lakh into 1 minus 0.4. Now, this, can you calculate and tell me what it will be? 1 lakh into 0.6 to the power 4 plus 0.6 to the power 3 plus 0.6 to the power 2 plus 0.6. Okay, now can you calculate and tell me what it is? Or you can use the GP formula, 1 lakh into 0.6 into 0.6 to the power 4 minus 1 divided by 0.6 minus 1. What will this answer be? Can you tell me what will be the value after I made some mistake somewhere? Just a second. Oh, wait. Oh, what will be the value? I made some mistake somewhere, I guess. Sure. One second, I made some mistake somewhere. Just let me confirm. It should be reducing, right? into 0.6. Oh, wait, where I made mistake is here. I shouldn't be taking, like, I'm not putting in 1 lakh every month. This is where I made mistake. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm extremely sorry. Yeah. So thing is, 1 lakh is depreciating compounded annually. So we should just be taking this figure. That's where I made a mistake. All right. Okay. I am extremely sorry. The calculation was wrong. Depreciation is just about compounding with negative interest. That's where I made a mistake. I'm sorry. This will be equal to, what will this be equal to? 1 lakh into 0.6 to the power 4. Yeah, this is 12,960. The reason I knew that I made a mistake is because we shouldn't be getting, if it's reducing, we should be getting an amount which is less than the original amount. So that's why I realized that I made a mistake, but good. Anyway, we caught it on in class itself this time. All right. Now, thing is, after 4 years, because there is a 40% per annum reduction, where 1 lakh is the original price, and the with 40% per annum depreciation, after 4 years, the price of the object will be 12,960. Same happens with phone. Suppose you bought a phone for 1 lakh. You'll notice that the first year, the company will offer a certain amount of buyback price. Second year, they'll offer a second layer of buyback price. And third year, it will be less. Fourth year, it will be much less. That is, price of the device is depreciating over years. All right, I'm sorry for the calculation mistake. And thankfully, we caught it on time. And this is the answer. Okay. Now, I think we are heading towards the end. So let me try to conclude whatever we did so far, including the mistakes I did. All right. I should, you know what? I started teaching almost, I think, 8 years ago, and in formal colleges almost 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I started in Madras Christian College, Chennai, and then came to St. Joseph's. So when I started teaching, there was something that is, I think, the first time I ever had to confess that I made a mistake to the class. I clearly remember it because I was shivering. You know what? I always considered my teachers to be perfect, and I never thought that they would make a mistake. And whenever they made a mistake, I was always less tolerant. It's like, how can a teacher make a mistake? But then, when I started teaching, I realized that they are also human. They may make mistakes, but especially since we are all in the same class learning together, we are learning from each other. And I don't know about you guys, but some of you have met me in person, and some of you may know some of my students. So you can ask any one of my students. If I have made a mistake, I'll be the first to walk into class and not be a scary teacher, but rather walk in and say, I made a mistake, accept it. I remember the first time I accepted it, I was shivering. But after that, I realized there's no point in shivering. I made a mistake. If it's my mistake, I should be able to accept it and correct it later. All right. So what I'm saying is, I made a mistake and I hope I have clarified it to you now. So let's conclude. Simple interest formula was 1p into maturity amount can be calculated by p into 1 plus nr, where n is the years and r is the rate of interest, and p is the initial investment. We haven't fixed the spelling of principal versus principal yet, because that, yeah, I think we can put that vote on now. Let's see. Let's see where people are leaning towards, because you have done your research, right? So I'm curious to see where you guys are leaning towards now. All right. Let me see if you guys have done your research in last 2 days. I'm posting a quiz. What is it, principal or principal? Submit your vote. Meanwhile, I'll summarize this. Compound interest, we gave the maturity amount as P into 1 plus R by NT. R by N, I think we have used R by NT, R by T to the power NT, where T is number of times interest is compounded annually. Then we talk, yeah.
R by N.
Yes, okay. So then we talked about recurring deposit, where we use the geometric progression to calculate our maturity amount. We talked about sinking fund. In sinking fund, what we did is we fixed the final amount and then we work backward to see what should be our yearly or monthly investment. That was our sinking fund. And suppose you are given the maturity amount to be 1,000 and principal is unknown, and you're given that rate of interest is, say, say 10% into for 5 years. We know that everything else is known, therefore we can find P. That is finding the missing variable given the other variables. So this was a summary of whatever we learned so far. This will be almost everything you need to know for the exam. And remember, I made a mistake in the calculation in the last class. Please assure that you note that mistake and correct it in your notebook if you are making. Oh yeah, it's R by N. Yes, yes, yes. Please assure that you note the mistake and correct it. R by N, where N is the number of times it is compounded. Okay, here I think I used T instead. Okay. Yeah. So assure that you correct the mistake in your notebook. Please don't learn the wrong one, or at least go by the math. Math never is wrong. The math was correct. It wasn't me rewriting where we went wrong. So the math is correct. I hope you guys will do. Oh, well, now there is a clear polarization. People are voting for principal all through. 11 votes. Others have given principal up. Okay, interesting. Well, others can vote. Anyway, we'll wind up the session now. Thank you, and I'm sorry for the mistake. I hope you have made the correction, and see you all next week. Have a wonderful weekend, wonderful evening, wonderful weekend, and see you next. Oh, next week you have internal test, right? Midsem, right? So see you the week after. Bye bye. Or and